Okay, so the Green Mile came out in 1999. The movie was very huge back when the movie came out in '99. It was all over TV, the previews, all in the magazines. Tom Hanks was getting all the praise. He was getting interviews. He was doing interviews. There was a black guy. He died a couple years ago. So basically, the story is about a white guy, and he's a authority, a deputy at a prison, and he befriends a giant a black man, a tall black guy basically, and he's a psychic. He can sense things in people. He has a gift that he was born with, and he hates it. His mind is always he can't have peace of mind because his mind is always thinking. When he sees people, he knows everything about people. When he sees them, everything he can see all the bad things they've done in their life. It's like a sense. There are some people who are psychic and they use their some of these people use it for good and evil, and there are fake psychics. But basically, he has a gift where he can sense things in people. It's like all he gotta do is look at people, and then, or if he touches people, he can really have a sense of their life. He can see things they've done in their life. He sees all the bad things they've ever done in their entire life. He can go back decades. That's the gift. He has a power. The black guy has a power to heal. He can make a dead rat come back to life. He can give a rat 100-year lifespan. He can make people live to be 100 years or over 100. He has a gift that he was born with. It's not his fault. Also, there were some good reviews about this movie back in 1999, and there were some negative reviews when the movie came out in 1999. I remember the movie was released on VHS December 6th, 1999. I remember going to Blockbuster and getting the movie and coming home and watching it. I was 9 years old. Boy, I watched it a lot, and I love the movie. But what me and my family complained about, as me being a 9-year-old boy, my brother, sisters, all that, we said the movie was too. We got together and talked about it, and we said the movie was too long. It was long. The movie was just too long. It's a really good movie, but 3 hours. Who wants to sit 3 hours? That's 3 hours of my life I'll never get back. But I really enjoyed the movie. I remember getting a whole box of pizza, a box of popcorn, getting pizza, something to drink, and get some snacks. And I remember sitting down watching it back in 1999. I thought the movie was good, but I thought it was too long. And back then, I went to Blockbuster, and what Blockbuster did is if they had, if the movie was over 2 hours long, they would give you two tapes. Part one, part two, they'll give you two VHS tapes, and then you watch one part, and then you take it out the VHS tape, and then you put in the second VHS tape and you watch it. That's how it was back in the 90s. Not before they started doing DVDs, where you watch a whole movie on DVD, a 3 hour movie on DVD, without putting in different CDs in it. That's cool. Usually they have DVDs where you have 2 hours and the other half hour. Flip over part one, flip over the disc, part two. You're all you people know what I'm talking about mentally. You guys know what I'm talking about. This is how it was back in the '90s, man. Before they started making DVDs better, advancing VHS. The VHS tapes were horrible because you had to rewind the movie. After you watch a movie, you had to rewind it. It would take about, I'm serious, man, it would take about 5 to 10 minutes to rewind a movie. I know this is my life. I experienced this stuff. I'm not just some guy talking. I know it's like because I was born 1990. I've been living 30 years. Believe me, I know everything there is to know about life. I grew up in the 90s. I grew up in that whole that night from 1990 to 2000. Those 10 years, I grew up in those areas. I grew up in that area, so I know what it's like to be a '90s guy. But Spike Lee is a black guy, short little black guy. He's outspoken. He talks about. He's always about. He's always controversial. He's always. He's a good guy, but he's always just. You can't take him seriously. He called the tall black guy. The tall black guy. He called him the magical Negro because he was able to heal people. He healed the woman with cancer. He took out all the cancer inside of her and took it out because she looked old. And when he put his hands on the white woman and he kissed her, he sucked out all the disease out of her body and she became young again. So he saved her life. Also he was accused of murder. The two young white girls. He didn't have nothing to do with it, but they thought he did it. That's why he was sent to prison for life and execution. At the end of the movie, he befriends Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks, he cures Tom Hanks because he has problem peeing. He can't pee right. So he puts his hands in his private and he heals him.
and he's able to pee pretty normally. He had problems with peeing. It would take him 20 minutes to pee. So all his life he had problems in that area. So he was able to heal people with just touching them. So it's a good movie. He actually dies. He actually confesses to Tom Hanks' character that he's tired of having these things of people bad. He knows he's sick of seeing memories of all the bad things that people done in their lives. Because all he thinks about is that all the bad things people have done in their whole lives. So it's a good movie. And in the movie, he's executed. It's a very sad movie. It was a book made into a movie, and they did a pretty good job of it. It's a Stephen King's movie. Stephen King wrote a book turned into a movie. Mr. J. Peace.